Previously on Task Force Vixen, the Harbinger's Marathon. Searching these chests and ammo boxes in order to get some points and some supplies in order to face off against the monsters. But I won't really be making an active effort to get the challenge done until after my experiment with the winning is done. Anyway, I'm picking up this chest, which gives me a 2-shot shotgun, which I pass over. Which wouldn't be an issue, except you need as much time firing as you can possibly get in this mode. Light bullet weapon. All I need is a shotgun, and I would be all set. Of the ammo, than a combat SMG does. So that really didn't help matters. The combat SMG is just a solid weapon. That's all there is to it. It has a 32 bullet magazine size. It does a lot of damage, and it has a really great firing rate. It would be making it to where I question your sanity, because this thing is a solid weapon choice for this mode. It's all fine. Now, the burst assault rifle is a special case. The higher it goes, the more bullets it fires from its barrel at a time. Like at first, in green, it will fire only 2 shots at a time. Then when you, I'd say 8 shots total. That the more shots you can have, the better. Switch from a automatic sniper rifle that would guarantee about 16 shots for the Evachrome burst, which only decreases the amount of shots per how rare it is. Well, the clip size isn't really that limited on the Evachrome burst compared to the rest of the weapons. Like 24 bullets regardless. If you really pay attention, the most that the weapon fires, I believe, is about 5. So in a case like that, I believe that you can fire about 5 or 6 shots before you finish, but those shots are punishing, because the higher you go, the more shots come out of the barrel, and it's honestly a very, very, very efficient killing machine. For instance, the Evachrome shotgun versus the Mythic Havoc shotgun. The Mythic Evachrome was the only Mythic in the thing. But my point still stands that between the two, I would prefer the Mythic Evachrome shotgun. Much larger magazine size, and much better firing rate. I am a speed character. I would say that the firing rate more than justifies the power output, but low power output vastly offset their high firing rates, and that's why I check and see how much power is in a gun as well, because the more power is done in one shot, the higher the damage per second. I prefer a balance between firing rate and power for a much larger and, in my opinion, far more important damage per second. Or about the amount of damage that you can do with as few shots as possible. So if you were able to deal, say, about 200 damage per second. Many people would say that's overpowered. However, I say that it's an ideal weapon, because for somebody of my playstyle, the quicker somebody gets taken out, the better, because I am no good at a long-winded fight. And if I have to rely on a gun that is slow as molasses, then I'm not going to win the fight. I'm sorry. But that's just not my playstyle. Along with the ammo boxes right beside them. Okay, so a green combat SMG, I already had something just like it. I grabbed the ammo boxes here, and then I grabbed this chest and ammo box right next to it. Or ammo boxes, plural. You deal self-harm. But at far range, as it is meant to be used, it is stellar as a weapon, because it deals a lot of damage, and it's very, very long ranged. So, but there are special cases to every rule. With a one of those special cases is one of the oldest snipers that I actually managed to do the most with. The suppressed sniper rifle. If you will turn back the clock way back to when TGIF first began, you will see exactly what I mean. I would be bold to assume that that it would be Foot Soldier instead of Sky Gambit with a chopper. So Foot Soldier would actually be the best bet to show exactly what I mean. And so you may have noticed that I grabbed the Gunner's SMG. The reason for that is because it is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful weapons in the entire game. It has high damage per second, and according to some sources, the recoil on it has been nerfed, which means you can fire straighter for longer and deal a focused stream of damage far more reliably than you used to. Repainted another drum gun and named it in the inventory and in the point where you hover your cursor over it, as the Midas's drum gun. If you look at the kill feed once you eliminated somebody, unless it's been patched since then, the actual name was Jules' drum gun. It may have already been patched by now, in which case I really sound stupid. But that was a point of contention for a lot of players. They were expecting Midas's drum gun, but what they got was Jules, that was disguised as Midas's drum gun. And I would definitely understand why people would be mad about this, because they loved the drum gun. A lot of them, anyway. And I will sympathize with both sides of the community. It was a great weapon to use, but it was not a great weapon to find yourself fighting against. How I sympathize with both sides. So I basically taught you a essay technique a while ago. I forget exactly what it's called, but I think one name for it would be a counter-argument. Regardless, I think there's another name for it, and I think that it starts with like an S or something, but I don't remember. It's been too long since I've written my last essay, and quite frankly, it's not something that I am very eager to revisit. So now, I'm about to be put into the final round, and so yeah, to depend on taking out monsters in order to get my shield back. And at this point, I have absolutely nothing to fall back on when it comes to health. So, yeah. And when you're focused on the minions, the boss can just cheap shot you with a chest laser, marionette strings, or ground pound. And you could be overwhelmed just like this. So, there we go. That's done. I head over here and grab this chest and the ammo boxes right next to it. Then I do the same with this chest and the ammo boxes right next to it. And I grab some dynamite, I believe once again for the spawners. Now, here's the thing about my different ammo rule. When you're in Horde Rush trying to survive to the best of your ability, one thing that would prevent that is having all weapons, or at least more than one, using the exact same type of ammo. Because once that runs out of ammo, and you empty out the clip of your other medium, light, or shotgun weapon, that's it. You don't have anything to defend yourself with. I don't know if I even had to explain it, but I did anyway, so whatever. But unfortunately, nothing could be further from the truth. I didn't. I had forgotten that I had even done that with the stink flower. And the reason why I'm calling it a stink flower is because I don't know what it's actually called. And there is another that is called a bomb flower. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if it's a blatant Legend of Zelda ripoff or if it's just simply Fortnite's naming convention. But the bomb flower is pretty well identically named and pretty well identical in function to the one in The Legend of Zelda. This could just be a coincidence. And I'm not entirely sure how Nintendo thinks about this. But it may just be that case where you can't really sue for a name that could be translated as something else other than just mimicry or plagiarism. Or who knows, it could actually be a subtle it could actually be a subtle collaboration between Epic Games and Nintendo. I mean, Fortnite is on the Switch after all. I will say one thing though. If they put in a rather cursed looking skin, then I'm probably not going to use that skin ever. Because the thing about it is, Pikachu has no right being that tall. It's just not natural. As I said in the last episode, if you don't like narrative commentary, I hate to break this to you, but you still have one more episode besides this one to go when it comes to narrative commentary. Also, I need to clarify a little mistake that I made in the last episode. You remember how I was discussing the Evochrome Burst Rifle and how many shots it can do for rarity? When I was discussing the green one, I said it could do 4 shots. But that doesn't add up because the magazine size is 24, and you could and it fires 2 bullets at a time. So what I meant to say in that instance was that you could fire 12 shots. But the more and more that you upgrade it, the more and more shots come out of that barrel. And even though you're still firing off 24 bullets, the shots you can pull off are less and less. For instance, a 3-shot burst, I believe, I'm right about this, you would get about 8. When it comes to a 4-shot burst, you will be able to fire off about 6 shots. When it comes to a 5-shot burst, I would say somewhere in between 5 and 6 shots. So, and I'm not entirely sure if it has any more shots that it can pull off when it gets past legendary rarity, because I don't know if it ever does graduate up to 6 shots, 6-shot bursts, wherein you could only fire it 4 times. But the thing about it is, the more shots in a burst, the less you have to shoot it. And the less indeed that you can shoot it. So, it's really the situation where you have to question whether or not you want to evolve it. But sometimes you don't really get a choice. Sometimes it just evolves by itself, so... Like I said before, if you can get a good few monsters in a line, you don't really have to shoot it all that much. And it doesn't really take that long to reload. And it, I believe, takes even shorter time to evolve. So, even though both can get you hit, so just be careful how you use them in this mode. But I stand by my words when I say the combat SMG is one of the best. The only thing that really seems to beat it out of the equation is the Gunner's Mythic Stinger SMG. But you would have to defeat the Cube Assassin and beg her to drop it, like I've been doing with her dropping Cadowthorn's Vampiric Blade. Why specifically the Vampiric Blade, you may ask? Well, refer to my episode where I got a win with it while Spider-Man Canada was still with me. And bear that in mind, because it's going to come back up in the penultimate episode of the season. So you have that to look forward to. Like I said before, after the next episode, things will be switching back to live commentary, because by then I would realize that my mic was off the whole time, and thus I would be able to and do live commentary again. The final episode of the season is going to be very unique in that it's going to do the most time blending, the most time warping that I have done in any episode before. And if I had my way, since. I didn't know that it had taken so many clips in order to get the 1,000,000 points. And since I like the season to end when the Fortnite season ends, well, there you go. That's pretty well the reason why. It's a very similar situation to Marty Jester and both Greatest Battles and Fortnite Follies. There is an exception that we have been witnessing for months and probably years at this point. And that just so happens to be TGIF. But that will change after December. Once the final episode of the season crops up, I believe around the 22nd of December, then the new season of TGIF will begin, which will be far more up to date because it will show off Chapter 5 Season 1 or Chapter 4 Season 5, whichever occurs after the season. But given the track record of the past chapter, at least, the end has happened pretty well every Halloween, or a little bit past Halloween anyway. But either way, the thing about it is, this season is ending in one way or another in November, much like the Chapter 3 Season 4. So I'm kind of suspecting that the season is going to be transitioning over to Chapter 5. Especially with how one person says that it's going to end. And if that is the case, then I'm not going to spoil it, but it's an interesting concept, and one that I have subtly done for one of my own series. So you have that to look forward to. Alright, round 2. Now, I'm going to be picking up the chest and ammo here, and we'll be taking it from there. I just need to grab this chest here, and this chest here, and I'm going to be going around and seeing what I can do after the fact. Alright. So, it looks like I'm about 16 minutes away from my next battle, and counting down. It doesn't appear that I can upgrade anything, so yeah. Let's go on ahead and get it on. The dual fiend hunters are actually very impressive because they are specifically designed to kill the horde monsters. And here we go. This is the battle against the assassin once more. Given that I have quite a bit of time left, I believe it's safe to say that I win against her, and collect whatever type of weapon comes out of her. So we'll see what happens from here. So, right. Let's go ahead and splash that down. And just alright. Okay. Just kind of do that. And alright. This is one of the bad things about shotguns. If they're running on empty, you have to wait for it to reload, which sometimes takes a while. And then you have to fire one solitary shot before reloading it again. And as you may be able to expect, shooting a gun with an empty clip is not as efficient as firing a gun with a full clip. So there's that. Alright, so here I finally get the opportunity to pick up Midas's drum gun, and I from there go to town on the horde monsters. And once I get another opportunity, I check and see what else she dropped, which just so happens to be the aforementioned Havoc shotgun. Now, like I said before, it's a very powerful weapon, but I don't really like using it because it has a small magazine size and a slow firing rate. I mean, it's about as much as the infiltrator pump, but it's much slower by comparison because the firing rate is below 1 shot per second. And I ran the numbers when it comes to weapons like that, and you would be surprised how much that affects damage per second. Alright. So, as painful as it might be to watch, I decided to replace it with a drum shotgun, which has a firing rate of 3 shells per second. Now, like I said before, I will admit that the Havoc pump is powerful, but for my playstyle, a higher firing rate is very much preferable to high amounts of power. So, that's my opinion. Now, like I said before, you're entitled to your own opinion, and you can feel free to try and convince me why the Havoc pump shotgun is as good as you say. But while I will consider your recommendation, I'm not going to promise you that I will switch up my tactics, because when it comes to 5 years of conditioning, that's not hard. That's not easy to break. So I often find myself going straight back to that mentality, pretty well semi-consciously. So the thing about it is, I have pretty much put rapid-firing weapons into my subconscious firmly. And it's a habit that sometimes gets me killed, but at the same time, it has also served me well in other cases. You'll see that in Greatest Battles at some point. If Marty Jester would ever get off of his butt and finish off some episodes that are really far behind, that is. He's got a really bad habit of taking so long to do it, and it's because of that that the series is like 3 seasons behind. Like, seriously. The thing about it is, he says that we are in one of the later seasons of the series, but honestly speaking, it's still the type of progress that says that we're still in like season 6. Yeah, that's pretty well it. Anyway, let's go on ahead and move on, shall we? Alright, so 15 seconds until the final battle begins, and my swift elimination as a result. So, here we go. Okay. It sure took him a while to pop up like that, but better late than never, I suppose. So, I am off to a deceptively good start. Like, he's not quite a quarter down. He wasn't quite a quarter down, at least. But he was down far enough that it could still be counted as decent progress. So there we go. Now then, let's go on ahead and just hammer at these guys with the drum shotgun, and just pull a hasty retreat, because that caretaker is also after me. Rushing reload would be perfect for a shotgun. Alright. Let's see. Alright. First shotgun. And what? Oh goodness. I didn't have time to check. Well, that seems to be about it for this episode then.